The Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Chevy, the Florida Lottery, Best Parts, Best Prices, Bennett Auto Supply, Contender Boats, Performance Through Innovation, Navionics, We Start Where the Roads End, and Guy Harvey, artist, explorer, marine scientist, conservationist, and diver.
Listen, this Chevy Silverado is not happy. It's not happy because it's not doing anything, because it knows you have a to-do list with unchecked boxes, because it was built to constantly be on the prowl to get more done. Patience is not the Silverado's virtue. Doing is. The dependable, reliable Chevy Silverado.
Continuing the revolution. Faster, drier, even better built. Designed around Yamaha's latest technology outboards. Still built by the same craftsmen and anglers who launched the Bay Boat Revolution. Whether chasing world records, or time on the water with the family, or anything in between, there's a new Pathfinder model for you. Pathfinder, #1 for a reason, still.
Imagine brighter futures, where doors open for Florida students every day. Imagine building a better tomorrow, where playing means we all win. Now celebrating $25 billion to education in 25 years. The Florida Lottery, just imagine.
It's 200 streamlined horsepower of Yamaha forward thinking. The all-new F200 inline 4-stroke. Whether you're an offshore angler, pontoon cruiser, bay boater, or walleye hunter, the responsive and fuel-efficient F200 combines amazing power and versatility in one incredibly compact and lightweight package. The all-new F200. Legendary Yamaha reliability and the freedom of forward thinking.
Make sure you check out our website at the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report.com, where you can get daily reports from our 9 captains. Also, if you'd like to be featured here on our show, upload your best photos to our Facebook page, and if you'd like to be part of our audience, you can register there as well. The Central West is where Captain Jeff Page roams the waters, and Captain Jeff, it's tarpon season.
Yes, it is, Lauren. It is tarpon season. I don't think they're as thick as they are down your way, Rick, but you know what? In the Starbright West Central region, tarpon season's going off as we speak. The cool thing is, Rick, there's a lot of different methods for catching them. First, and probably the most famous and world-renowned, Charlotte Harbor and Boca Grande Pass, where some of the most spectacular tarpon catches and releases, of course, occur each May through July. In the pass itself, you can jig them during the day or use crabs at night. But up in the harbor itself lies some really good sight fishing for big fish, 150 to 200 pounders. Captain Matt Haig and Dan Latham have been really doing good this early part of the season. What they do is they look for the threadfin schools, ladyfish schools, and then they just sight fish the rolling fish with free-line thread fins on stout 25 to 40-pound class spinning or bait casting rigs with 25, 30-pound mono or 30 to 50-pound braid. Fly works as well. 12-weight rods are recommended. Purple, black, tan, white work real well. And then we've got a lot of fish out along the beaches in the entire West Central region, from Boca Grande all the way up to St. Pete Pier. What you want to do is get out on that beach early, look for fish laid up or rolling, and lead them with a free-lined crab or a free-line threadfin or even a big pilchard, Rick. I remember you did a show not too long ago with Stacy Capps, and you had some of the good beach tarpon fishing off Longboat Key.
Mm-hmm. All right, well,
Anyway,
what else is inshore,
Anyway,
bub?
I've got a photo.
Oh, yeah, tell me.
I've got a photo of a nice tarpon we got the other day.
Ooh.
That's a good one, ain't it?
That's a nice one there, Captain Page. Good, pretty work, pretty work. So tell me about the
All right.
snooking.
All right, rolling inshore. Believe it or not, right now, Rick, the snook action, even with the hard freeze of 2010, has been hotter than the redfish action, which has been steady just as well. Look for the line siders all over the beaches as well as in the passers in the entire west central region. The tides this week are a little off, but as we approach the full moon next week, look for the snook action to go really strong. Live free-line filters are tough to beat, but the saltwater assassin and the violet moon sea shad on a quarter-ounce hook-up jig head work real well. Remember, they're still out of season, so handle with care in the west central region. I've got a photo tonight of last Friday's snook trip with Amanda Perryman's brother, Andrew Buzz Perryman, and Rob Sabin that worked for Costa Del Mar Sunglasses.
Man, there's another group, another Costa guy not working. There it is.
That's right.
All right, tell me what else offshore, bub.
Offshore, Captain Chris Seeger reports of Tightline Charters reports red grouper bite remains strong. He says don't overshoot the zone, though. He says the fish have bumped in a little bit, 110 to 120 over hard bottom. You want to find good bait stacks showing. The fish have been the entire region, but don't get out there too far. He recommends cut sardines work real well, and remember to keep your limit and to stay on top of that because only red groupers can be kept right now. Species 2, mangrove snapper. Chris says nice mangs are holding over wrecks and ledges in 80 to 100 feet of water, but as this full moon approaches next week, look for the fish to move in a little bit closer, and the serious tip he gives is the water's been so clean, lighten that leader up as light as possible, 20 pound, 25 maximum fluorocarbon leader, live pinfish, live jumbo shrimp, and that full moon mang bite should be really going off next week. But like I said, it's still pretty strong right now. Real quick, don't forget, Marine Supply tonight, Marine Supply Winter Haven, we're going to be there tonight, and lots of Chevy trucks and cars, so don't forget, get you a Chevy truck.
All right, good job, Jeffrey. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the Startron hotspots from the Central West region. Captain Jeffrey says inshore, tarpon. Good pods of tarpon showing up along the beaches, especially to the south part of the region. Live free line crabs or thread fins are going to be your best bet. And then offshore, amberjacks. Look for those stud AJs holding over the wrecks in the springs in 110 to 140 feet of water. Live blue runners and big pinfish are going to be the best baits.
Okay, Rick, now we head up to the northeast region. Captain Russell Theron, it's a tad early yet for the best tarpon in your area, true?
Hey, how you doing, Lawrence? There's some of them are just trickling in. We've just, things have been very slow, but June, July, and August are the best months to catch tarpon up here in northeast Florida. Now, some of the local hot spots that you want to target the giant tarpon is next to the South Jetty at St. Mary's Inlet. And that's what you want to do is set up between the White Can and the end of the rocks the last 3 hours of the flood tide. Or you can fish the deep sloughs just behind the breakers in Nassau Sound. Again, the last 3 hours of that flood tide works best. Now, further south, you want to fish off the beaches at St. Augustine. And some of the best zones in that area down there is 45 to 50 foot of water along the beaches. Now, the best way to rig for your tackle for your tarpon is going to use 20 to 30 pound test line with a Carolina rig. Now, you want to use either 4 to 6 ounces of weight, just enough to hold the bottom, and you want at least about 6 foot of 80 pound to 100 pound fluorocarbon leader. Tie on a 5/0 or a 8/0 circle hook, depending on the size of your bait. Chum sparingly. You don't want to put out too much chum. If you do, you're going to bring in a lot of sharks. They're tarpon or scavengers. They're going to come in by scent. But chum sparingly, use fresh pogies, and also you want to use a fresh cut pogie as your bait. Typical size for our tarpon in our area, run anywhere from 70 to 120 pounds.
All right, what else you got inshore, Russell?
Yes, sir. I talked with Captain Tommy Derringer, Inshore Adventures, out of St. Augustine. And Captain Tommy said the triple tail have been all over the beaches in St. Augustine, Rick. The triple tail have been seen in pairs and small groups, just free-floating in open water and along the beaches in 30 to 60 foot of water. To locate the triple tail, you want to look around structures like crab floats or maybe floating debris along the beaches, or maybe next to the navigation buoys inside and outside the inlets. Captain Tommy said that he likes to use a 20-pound fluorocarbon leader, at least 5 to 6 foot long. Now, if you like to throw artificials, Captain Tommy recommends to use a small jig head tipped with a paddle tail grub or a plastic shrimp. Some of the best baits to fish triple tail will be a live shrimp or a mud minnow. They'll get the job done. Typical size of the triple tail in our region, Rick, are running anywhere from 5 to 15 pounds. Now, I've got a beautiful picture here of a beautiful triple tail of Captain Tommy Derringer that he caught on a jig head and a paddle tail combo. And now, moving offshore, I want to make a correction to the last week's report. There are no requirements to carry any venting tools here in Northeast Florida region. Now, our offshore report's going to be about dolphin, and man, they have been smoking the dolphin up here. Look for the dolphin bite to run in 160 to 185 foot of water. Start looking for flying fish on the tide lines and grass lines. The best bite have been on the temperature breaks where it's in the mid-70s. Troll for dolphin at 6 knots with either a blue and white Islander lure or use a skirted ballyhoo to get the job done. Typical size of the dolphin will run anywhere from 12 to 25 pounds. Also offshore, our cobia have been showing up here in our region in good numbers. Now, you're going to find them on the tide lines, the bait pods, and on the sea buoys. Some of the best sight fishing for cobia are going to be done on clear days when the seas are calm. The cobia are also being caught offshore in artificial reefs and wrecks by deep jigging with a hookup bucktail jig tipped with a live bait. Some of the best baits for cobia is a live pogey, a live mullet, or a live blue crab. Typical size of the cobia are being caught are 20 to 40 pounds. Now, I've got a great photo here of Renee Crabtree. Now, she caught this big, huge cobia, giant cobia on Mother's Day. It topped 72 pounds while being guided by her son, Captain Jeff Crabtree. That was a monster cobia. Congratulations, Renee.
That's a beautiful bow of a boat, man. That's the way I like to see it, just like that.
Hey, Rick, I wonder how many fish tacos you can get out of a 72-pound cobia.
I don't know. I imagine a bunch. All right, what else you got, Russell? Well, guess every time we start talking about food, Captain Russell dies. Well, I got to add one thing that he was going to say after the hot spots. The Northeast regional hotspots, I got to tell you, he was also going to mention that Strike Zone is having a tent sale. That tent sale starts on the 16th of May, goes through the 18th. You can go there at 8 o'clock. They're going to have a lot of great specials, Suffolk's Line, Costa del Mar. And make sure you tell Dave Workman that we said to come by. So let's go ahead and take a look at the hotspots from the Northeast region. Captain Russell, every time he talks about that food, he gets cut off inshore. Look for the cobias on the tide lines, bait pods, and the sea buoys. The best bait for the cobias are live pogies, live mullet, or even a live blue crab. And then offshore, target dolphin in 160 to 180 feet of water, locate birds, flying fish, tide lines, slow troll, and use skirted ballyhoos for bait. Lauren.
You know, I think it's because we can't talk about the Northeast this late in the show. It cuts into dinner time.
Something going on.
That's what it is. When we return, we're going to have the Coastal Conservation Minute and a chat with Panhandle Pat Deneen.
All right, there's our audience over there.
The Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Rapala. Catch the latest at Rapala.com. Reactor, the best built performance sports watch, period. StarTron, cures and prevents ethanol fuel problems. Strike Zone Fishing. Suffolk's, the world's most hardcore fishing line. And Yamaha, reliability starts here.
Hey, what's going on here?
You want the long or the short answer?
Long, I guess.
Chevy's having a great deal on the 2013 Silverado, but you better hurry because we don't want to see a grown man cry spectacular.
What's the short answer? Nice.
The Chevy Memorial Day sale. Now get the 2013 Chevy Silverado All-Star Edition with a total value of $6,750. Plus, current Chevy truck owners can trade up for an additional $2,500 trade-in allowance and get America's best pickup coverage, including 2 years of scheduled maintenance.
Imagine brighter futures, where doors open for Florida students every day. Imagine building a better tomorrow, where playing means we all win. Now celebrating $25 billion to education in 25 years. The Florida Lottery, just imagine.
You already know about the La Jolla Resort in Isla Mirada, so let's talk about the La Jolla experience. With an on-site boat ramp, the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic is just minutes away. And when you return from fishing, there's barbecue pits to cook your catch while your family enjoys the pool or one of our new remodeled rooms. This historic resort, the La Jolla, is family owned and operated and has a friendly staff ready to make your La Jolla experience a really great one.
You know there's more to it than luck. There's fishing the right bait, the water temperature, the wind, the season, and then there's the boat. We'll put it simply, the boat matters. To own a Contender is to own the best sport fishing boat on the market, period. Contender offers the most comprehensive model range with bigger, faster, and more fuel-efficient boats than the competition. There's only one choice for serious anglers. Contender Boats. Performance through innovation.
Today's Costa Conservation Minute is about catch and release tactics. Now guys, everybody who catches a fish wants to take the picture of a fish of a lifetime. Certainly I do. So let's use the example of a bass or a snook. If you want to remove that fish out of the water, what we suggest you do is support that fish's belly and hold the fish in a horizontal fashion. Remember, all the time that he's out of the water, he's breathing air, which is really not necessarily good for him. So get him back into the water quickly as possible. Now when it comes to that snook, take that snook and hold him by the bottom lip and move him in and out in a figure-8 style or fashion, and the water will run across his gills. When he's ready to go, he will release your thumb and be on his way. Now when it comes to sailfish and tarpon, I'd suggest that we leave these fish in the water. If you want to grab the tarpon by the lower jaw and pull his head up out of the water to get a picture, leaving the rest of his body in the water, that's okay to do. Let the water support his weight. Get your picture, remove your hook, and get him back in the water as quickly as possible. Don't use a lip gaff, guys. They're suction feeders, and they'll actually poke a hole in the lower part of their membrane, which will keep them from being able to suck their prey into the back of their throat. These are a couple things that you might want to practice when it comes to catch and release tactics. And that's today's Costa Conservation Minute.
Good stuff there, Rick.
Well,
thanks for that.
Thanks.
All right, guys, last but not least this week, way up in the Panhandle is Captain Pat Deneen. Pat, we get to chat about one of your favorites this week, too. Tell us about tarpon.
Hey, Lauren. Yeah, tarpon are definitely my favorite fish, and I guess we're last because they get up here last in the state. We basically get the migrating fish. There's enough tarpon. I've been seeing some on the beach, but to the east of Apalachicola, the fish are starting to show up, and then they're going to continue filling in throughout the rest of the Panhandle in through the summer, with June and July probably being the peak season for the western Panhandle, and pretty much from late May, June, all the way through September for the eastern part of it. We sight fish them as they migrate along the beach, and like I say, that June, July cusp is probably the prime time, and the fish are traveling east to west along the Gulf front beaches. Over in Apalachicola, the fish show up in their bay system, and some of them keep swimming, but there's so much bait over there. They also have a good resident population of fish, and they'll fish them from now all the way through September. And they target them around the pogie schools in West Pass, Indian Pass, and also along the beaches of St. Vincent Island. And they've got stained water over there, so they tend to get away with 80 to 100-plus pound leaders and a large circle hook, while our clear water off Odessa, we have to use a smaller circle hook and lighter 60-pound fluorocarbon leaders. The bait of choice over in Apalachicola is going to be a live or dead pogie. Well, we like to use a live herring, a live LY, or a live herring. The average size fish, 70 to 80 pounds, but there's definitely some fish over 100 pounds possible. So it's coming along throughout here, and it's my favorite fishery.
All right, what else you got for me inshore, bub?
Rick, right now the beaches are alive. They're a virtual aquarium. We have clear water and plenty of different fish. The redfish, the pompanos, the bluefish, Spanish mackerel, they're all here in big numbers from Cape San Blas all the way to Pensacola. And it's perfect sight fishing conditions. It's been calm in the morning with clear water. And if you have a boat, either slowly trolling motor along that first sandbar, or if you don't have a boat, walk the beaches and keep your eyes open. The best time is probably from 8, 9 in the morning till about 12, 12:30. Basically, once the sun gets up high enough to see into the water, and before that afternoon sea breeze start kicking in. Chartreuse and white, a pink and white pompano jig is a great lure for all the above species. But occasionally those redfish and the bluefish, they get a little finicky, so a nice pearl or light-colored soft plastic is a way to go, or even better, a live cigar minnow. There's a nice photograph I sent in there. It's Gina Beeman of Navarre. That's her and her husband, Mike. And that's a real pretty redfish that she caught on a topwater skitter walk this past week. It's her first redfish on a topwater bait, and it's definitely a very nice fish. I'm sure it was a great bite.
Yeah, man, she might as well quit fishing now. I mean, catch a redfish bigger than that, I don't know. All right, Pat, go ahead. Give me the rest.
Rick, offshore, everybody's waiting for the snapper season, which is going to start June 1st, excuse me. But in the meantime, the amberjacks are chewing offshore on all the metal wrecks, the barges, the tugboats, the Liberty ships. Pretty much any high-relief metal wreck or even a lot of the high-relief natural bottom spots have plenty of jacks on them. The shallower stuff in 90 feet and less, the tugboats and barges, lots of small jacks, great for light tackle or fly fishing. That midwater stuff at 130 to 160 foot of water, the tugboats especially, there's a lot of mixed jacks. Some are legal, some are short, and then as you get deeper, most of them tend to be legal fish. A big live blue runner is going to definitely weed out the smaller fish from the bigger fish as far as a bait. So use a nice live blue runner on a slip sinker rig with a long leader. Give that fish or your bait plenty of leash to get down there and swim around. The more active the bait, the better the jacks tend to respond. Once you get one fish hooked up, make sure you keep fishing. That one hooked fish is going to keep the other fish, active, and you can often get more than one bite going on. And I spoke with my brother, Double D, on the Sure Lure today, and they were coming in from a trip just past the edge fishing some of those 180 to 250 foot metal wrecks. They had a nice limit of 20 to 30 pound jacks, and he says it's been very good and very consistent. And then finally offshore, the Mingo snappers, also or known as vermilion snappers, or you know how we like the names up here, beeliners, have been very good. The party boats have been targeting those natural bottoms and 180 to 200 foot, the south edge, the southwest edge. And Jeff Locke on the Swoop, he says there's plenty of 3+ pound fish being caught. They're using a 2-hook chicken rig with cut squid. The natural bottom and that 180 to 200 foot is good, but also some of those deeper wrecks that they're catching the amberjacks on are holding some vermilion snappers. Drop your bait to the bottom, wind it up 6 or 10 cranks, and make sure you have a venting tool ready because you're going to catch plenty of red snappers while you're catching these Mingo snappers, and you want to make sure you release them so they can swim back to the bottom.
All right, good job, Pat. We're going to go ahead and get to the Blue Water Outriggers hotspots from the Panhandle region. Inshore, big Spanish mackerel on the flats of the bay side of the Pensacola Coast Guard Station using mirodines and chug bugs. Then offshore, use live blue runners on the metal wrecks in 130+ feet of water for those AJs, Lauren.
Okay, just on the other side, we're going to tell you what our captains will have for you next week. Stick around.
All right, I'm ready.
Stay here.
Tell me.
Stay.
Imagine brighter futures, where doors open for Florida students every day. Imagine building a better tomorrow, where playing means we all win. Now celebrating $25 billion to education in 25 years. The Florida Lottery, just imagine.
The Johnsons, right?
Yeah.
Which house is yours?
The one with the Silverado up front.
So, what do you do?
Well, nice.
And Bingo was his name.
The Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest-lasting, full-size pickups on the road. For work, for life, Chevy Silverado.
Hi. I lost a big fish earlier today. Wasn't using suffix. It was about this big.
Look, slow down there, cowboy, okay? A fish in the lost it van, huh? You want your fish. Sorry, honey, that fish is gone.
Always use the best line, suffix 832.
It's got the punch of a heavyweight and the pounds of a lightweight. Welcome to the main event featuring the new Yamaha 4-stroke F70, tipping the scales at up to 142 pounds lighter than its 4-stroke competitors. That's a class-leading power-to-weight ratio, a haymaker of a whole shot, surprising mid-range punch, incredible fuel economy, and industry-leading innovation, performance, and reliability. The Yamaha 4-stroke F70, reliability starts here.
If you like fishing or the history of fishing, then I have a must-see place for you. The IGFA Fishing Hall of Fame and Museum in Dania Beach. What makes the IGFA so cool is that they have theaters where you can learn about the journey of fishing, galleries where the kids can see antique reels or catch a big one. The Hall of Fame room has over 140 beautiful fish mounts, and maybe in the E.K. Harry Library, you may see a live alligator. For more family fun, go to IGFA.org.
Fish Stock, the total saltwater experience, returns to New Smyrna Beach this Memorial Day weekend. Bring the whole gang to Riverside Park for an incredible family experience. Tournaments, boat shows, seminars, kids clinics, and the Fish Stock 5K Fun Run. Visit fishstock.com to register for the Offshore Striker Tournament with an expected payout of nearly $100,000 in cash and prizes. Or the Redfish Trout Challenge with an expected payout of $15,000 in cash, prizes, and much more. Fish Stock, Memorial Day weekend in New Smyrna Beach. Don't miss this one.
Next week on the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report, we'll be talking dolphin. Make sure to check us out next Thursday, May 23rd. You can catch repeats on Friday and Saturday. Just visit Sun Sports and your local listings for more details.
He's my favorite.
Who's your favorite?
I love that dolphin face.
This is my favorite. This is Tatiana. How are you? You good? Tired? I'm tired. Look how I don't have any girls in my house. I'll buy you that red truck if you want to come live in my house. And Mr. Bailey's going to hand deliver it to you.
Okay.
All right? Hey, guys,
yours.
thanks for watching.
Yeah, he gives it away.
Hey, Ed, we're really excited about
Girls
the
always
new Chevy stuff.
Everybody should.
Good looking.
And thank you for coming and being in here.
Hey, thanks for having us
We
on.
appreciate
Glad to
you
be
on
here,
tonight.
always.
Yeah.
As always.
Letting the secrets out of the bag right here
Yeah,
at the
we got a
Chevy
big thanks
Florida
to our
Insider
audience
Fishing
back there as
Report.
well.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thanks to the
guys.
audience.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
You
Good
lost
job.
your little girl. Say bye.
See you next week, everybody.
Bye, y'all.
Wait.